Hi there. Welcome back to our channel. I'm so happy you're here today. Have you ever felt like a ghost at your own family dinner, wishing you were anywhere else? Today, I'll share why I finally walked away from it all. I am going to tell you about a very difficult choice I made a few years ago. Many people think that leaving your family is a selfish act, but for me, it was the only way to save my soul. We often hear that family is everything, but what happens when family is the thing that hurts you the most? I want to explain the psychology of this ending and why it is actually a new beginning. By the end of this video, you will see that you are not alone if you feel unseen in your own home. Let me tell you something. A few years ago, I was sitting at a dinner table on Thanksgiving, surrounded by people I didn't know, eating food I didn't cook, and for the first time in years, I felt completely at peace. But that peace came with a very heavy price, a price most people will never understand. Today, I want to share something very personal with you, something I have never talked about so openly before, because I think some of you out there really need to hear this. So, let me start from the beginning. I grew up in a small town. My family looked perfect from the outside. We had a nice house, we went to church every Sunday, my mom always smiled for photos, but behind closed doors, it was a different story, a very different story. Every holiday, every birthday, every family dinner, I felt invisible. Not unloved, but unseen. Do you know that feeling? When you are in a room full of people, but you feel completely alone? That was me every single time. My mom had a way of making me feel like I was never enough. You should study harder. Why can't you be more like your cousin? When are you going to get a real job? Every conversation came back to the same thing, what I hadn't done, who I hadn't become, why I still wasn't good enough. But I kept going back, every year, because that's what you do, right? Family is family. Blood is thicker than water. We all grow up hearing these things. And then, one day, something changed inside me. But wait. Before I tell you what happened, you need to understand something important about those years, because this is the part that most people get completely wrong. I wasn't weak. I wasn't giving up. I was trying harder than anyone knew. I was the one who called first. I was the one who apologized even when I didn't do anything wrong. I was the one who drove 3 hours every holiday just to sit at a table where I felt invisible. For years and years and years. Dr. Carl Pilmer, a researcher at Cornell University, studied thousands of people who had difficult relationships with their families. And what he found was surprising. He found that the people who finally walk away from their families are almost always the ones who tried the longest. They didn't give up easily. They held on and held on and held on. Until one day, holding on hurt more than letting go. That was me. One November, I just didn't go home for Thanksgiving. I sat in my apartment alone with a sandwich and a cup of tea, and I waited for the guilt to come. I waited to feel terrible. I waited for the walls to fall down around me. But instead, the room was quiet. The noise inside my head, the noise that had been there my whole life, it just stopped. For the first time, I could hear my own thoughts, clearly, without someone else's voice telling me I wasn't enough. That silence was the strangest feeling I have ever had. It felt like relief, but it also felt like grief, like something important had ended, like a door had finally closed. And the grief? Oh, the grief was real. Don't let anyone tell you it isn't. I grieved the mother I needed but didn't have. I grieved the family dinners that could have been warm and safe. I grieved the version of my childhood that existed in other people's homes but never in mine. The grief doesn't go away just because the relationship ended. It stays with you. It shows up at the grocery store when you see a woman who looks like your mom. It shows up on Mother's Day. It shows up when a friend says, "My mom is my best friend," and you smile and say, "That's so nice." And inside, you feel a quiet, familiar ache. Some people hear this story and they say, "But she's your mother. How could you?" And I understand, I really do, because we live in a world that tells us family love is the most sacred thing. We see it in movies, we hear it in songs, we feel it in every holiday commercial. But here's something nobody tells you. A relationship built on conditions is not really love. It's a deal. And sometimes a deal needs to end before both people can move forward. I'm not saying my choice was easy. It was the hardest thing I have ever done. And I'm not saying it's the right choice for everyone. Every family is different. Every story is different. But if you are someone who has been making yourself smaller for years just to fit inside a space that was never big enough for who you really are, I want you to know something. You are allowed to want more than that. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to choose peace. The guilt you feel, it is not proof that you made the wrong choice. It's proof that you cared. People who don't care don't feel that guilt. They just leave without looking back. You feel it because you loved. And love doesn't disappear just because a relationship does. Today, I have a small, quiet life. I have friends who feel like family. I have a table at Thanksgiving where people are loud, messy, and argue about silly things. And I sit there and I watch it all and I feel grateful. Not because my family's story had a happy ending, but because I found something true about who I am. And that is worth everything. If this story touched your heart, I want to say something to you. Thank you. Thank you for sitting with me today and listening, not just with your ears, but with your whole heart. That means more to me than I can say. And if you are somewhere in the middle of this story right now, still figuring things out, still holding on, still hoping, you are not alone, not even close. Before I go, a small suggestion. Think about one relationship in your life that always leaves you feeling tired. Not a person you are angry at, just someone who drains you. Ask yourself honestly, is this a relationship that gives or only takes? You don't have to have the answer today, but ask the question. That is where healing begins. I found that my love found a new home in the family I chose. My friends, my partner, and even you, my viewers. We can build our own tables. We can create our own traditions where everyone is seen and everyone is enough. If this story helped you, please share it with one person who might be feeling alone and who might need to hear it today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I make these stories every week just for you. If you have experienced something like this, please share your thoughts in the comments. We are a community, and your story matters here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the join button to support these psychology deep dives. Next week, I'm going to share a story about a completely different kind of courage, the kind that happens in small, quiet moments when nobody's watching. I think you're going to love it. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, your story is still being written. See you next time. Much appreciated.